to compare function in the Biowall software and sharing, generating reports, everything, and general report and compare report also. And I will show you in real time everything, and I will do it on an example of the scans that we have made in the previous lesson when we were discussing the full procedure. So you can do the same with your own 4 full scans that you have done earlier. Let's go. So here are those scans that I have made slightly earlier in the lesson with the full procedure of receiving client, and I will take these 4 scans, and by holding shift I can select the first one, the last one, and they all 4 will be marked, and I click compare all 4. You see number 4 now here, red, and I go to the compare screen. Here are those 4 scans. You can delete if you have added some scans that are not needed, or you clear and add them from scratch again, and I click compare button, and here we go. You remember that the principle is that we go in interpretation from general to details. So let's try to apply the same principle. The most integral parameters are on analysis tab. So we go here, we see that the stress level didn't react on the exercises that I was doing. So for me, these 50 squats in terms of stress, not a big deal. In terms of energy, you see that again, it's oscillating in the same region. The changes are, well, if the initial average was 52, and now it's 51.09, so it's only 1 unit, 1 joule, centijoule actually, change. So 1 from 50, well, it is how much? 1% is 0.5, so 2% change. According to our data and statistics that we have collected, we stay at the paradigm that 5 plus 5 minus 5% oscillation from average are negligible. This is normal for a human being. I would say my state didn't change. So you see after the exercises, there is 0 point something change. So again, it's 1% within the error. And then it's within 5 minutes, it has slightly went down to 51.09. Again, we cannot say that energy has increased because again, it is oscillating within the range of those 5%. The dominance of the hands, you see it was left hand dominance before, and it has slightly increased right after the exercises, so my organism has got excited due to the physical exercises. Well, it is normal situation that it gets excited, but what does it mean if the reaction of the organism is opposite? So the right hand dominance you see after the exercises, it means your organism is tired and exhausted and doesn't want to do any physical exercises. It wants to take rest. So it sends you the message, please stop, no more. Well, you see in 5 minutes, I have returned back to the initial condition. No big change. But if we're looking more into details, we will notice here that the number of sectors imbalanced, they were biggest in the second scan, so 5 with left-hand dominance and 2 with the right-hand dominance. And after the exercises, you see it was only 1 left, 1 from 7, it became 1. So we can say that the exercises are quite a good thing for me. Now I am getting more balanced and less organs and systems are in an imbalanced state. We can go to the lifestyle tab now, the integral ones also, and see what are the ranges in which I oscillate. And we can note that, for example, the brain eyes area, the sleeping regime, it's quite stable, so it oscillates between 86 and 90. And the psycho-emotional state is also quite stable. You see it's also oscillating in a very narrow range. While the biggest oscillation is in the Dantian state and physical activity, that is named physical activity in our software. You see, number 1, it's the lowest value, and number 2, it has the highest variability. So it's the least stable tier of my lifestyle. And this is true. I sit too much in front of the computer, so the Biowall is just proving it once again. And the interesting thing that after the exercises, the results are better in terms of the Dantian, because I've moved this area and increased the blood circulation in that area. While the initial scan was the lowest, right? But unfortunately, within 5 minutes, you see it's slowly going down. So just doing 50 squats once a day is not enough to solve the issue. It should be a routine work every day. You need to do the movement, and for that area, you have to do exercises to keep the Dantian in a very strong state. So here we have seen the norms or normal average values for the lifestyle, and we can understand what is the top priority for the person we're analyzing. For me, this is physical activity and the fact that I sit too much. We can analyze the integral also state, the psychological state, and we can see that it was alignment was 95% initially, then it was 87, so quite big difference, 95 to 87. And after 50 squats, it got to 92, and 5 minutes later, 96. Well, very good result. And almost all of them are in the center. So again, for psychological, because it's directly connected also with the brain flow, etc. And I was doing it in a super brain yoga style to synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It also leads to this better synchronization and work between the hemispheres and parts of the body, left and right. So psychologically, yep, we can see that there is almost no reaction to the exercises. It was good, it stayed good. The area diagram, so we have discussed, nothing interesting we can see here in terms of reaction to the exercises. The balance tab, that's an interesting tab to see in the compare mode, because you can notice that while we scroll through the scans, the highlighted columns are changing. So it's not always the same column that are highlighted. So for example, here it's number 6, 8, and 12. Here it's number 2, 4, 8, 17, 24, 28, 29. After the squats, only second one is left, and here 2, 5, and 25. So the most frequent one for my case is number 2, the heart. So there is the left hand dominance, 1, 2, in 3 scans in a row. While in the default scan, in the first scan, it was also left hand dominant, but within 20% range. But then it has got slightly higher than 20%, and you see that it stayed highlighted after 50 squats and after 5 minutes of break. So if I would have some medical education, potentially I could have tried to do some correlation. Here we can see also the after squats, the 5 minutes later, we can see the 25, it's the immune system and the liver reaction. Well, medical doctors will know what to say about that. I don't know, I don't have medical education, so it's just like I can pinpoint that 3 from 4 scans I have the hyper functioning, no, not the hyperfunctioning, imbalance for the heart sector while it stays in the green zone. This is how you do the comparison. There are graphs where you see the comparison between the projections that you see here, the left, right, and front between each other, and in here in the columns mode. Same story, fingers, you just can visually compare the fingers between each other, how they were scanned. You can select the specific finger that you want to compare and specific sector. And you can print the parameters, you can export them, and you can select which one you want to export. And you can export in CSV. So it will be the table with all the numbers that Biowell software is calculating. You just specify which parts of the information you want to export. So you can mark the lifestyle, chakras, doshas, whatever you want, and leave everything else omitted. Here you can create the report that will consist those parts that you feel comfortable with in order to share the information with the patient. If you don't like the diagrams, you unmark them, you click OK, and it will generate a PDF report. You can edit it. So you can type whatever you want here. You can change the header and footer. You can make it empty and it will stay on Biowell, or you can add your own logo at the top and at the bottom. The header and footer images, you can adjust their sizes by width and height here, the parameters, where it should be centered to the left or to the right. Same about footer. And we can restore the defaults to leave the Dr. Korkov label here. Clear, it's up to you. You can customize your report as you like. You can give the name of the patient for whom this report is being made. And you can edit anything you like in this report. It's fully editable. Everything can be deleted, added, whatever you like. So you have your own recommendations, you can add them here. You have your own conclusions, you can add them here. You don't like some parts of this report, you can delete it. So it's fully editable, you can do whatever you like with it and customize for yourself. In here, see, you can change the page setup, you can change it for yourself, the font size, etc. You can insert images if you have your own images you want to add to this report, etc. Full editing tools, the types of the fonts that you can use, the justify alignments, etc. So also you can directly share it. So you can send it to Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, or email it. So you click email and it will propose you to enter the email of the patient being scanned, and it will directly send this PDF report to this patient. You can also save this PDF report, compare report, to your computer, and afterwards send it by whatever means you like. Or you can even print it if you need it. It's also possible. So just an example, if we return back, I will just give you an example how to use this compare mode. Once again, I will take this case where the person was scanned 5 times without any exercises, just 5 times within 20 minutes. And we just 4 times. So, and the thing that I want to highlight is that the energy is fine, but the stress level is high. And we can see that the balance is trend towards the right-hand dominance. So the person is tired, but he was just a pretty young person, 20-something, and without any, on a free day, non-working day, at the beginning of the day, it was 11 a.m., And we still see in 2 from 4 scans that there was quite big dominance, and it's quite unstable. So there is high right hand dominance, and then in, for example, next scan it's left hand dominance, but still the stress is high. Why does his organism behave in such a strange way? So we can go to the chakras to see if he is psychologically. He seems psychologically stable. No, so the reason is not there. So we should look somewhere else. We go to the balance, and here we can take a pen, piece of paper, and write down those columns that we see, the highlighted ones, or the lowest, or the highest ones, in all 4 scans. And we'll do it together with you. And just to save your time, I will give you a hint. Look at the column number 8. As long as we are dealing with a stressed person with high level of stress constantly in all 4 scans, and we can see that in all 4 scans, the adrenals are quite balanced. Quite big difference. So here it's closer to 4, it's more than 6. So it is quite big, so almost 50% balance. Significant ones. And it remains within those 20 minutes that I was scanning this person, and we were just sitting discussing life without, it's not psychological session. And you see that here is right hand dominance of the adrenals, here's left hand dominance of the adrenals, here's again right hand dominance. So the adrenals are jumping back and forth. Maybe you have heard about such thing as adrenal exhaustion. It's when a person is living a stressful life for a very long period of time, and then adrenals stop functioning properly, so they do not work and produce those noradrenaline in the proper time, so they inadequate behavior. And this may be the reason of the high level of stress that we see here, because of this function of the adrenals that we see here quite highly imbalanced in all 4 from 4 scans. So this can be the reason, and if I was a doctor or a psychologist, I would have an interesting topic for discussion with this person. This is why it's so important to do multiple scans to see the dynamics, to see the reproducibility of things, and then it will guide you and show you the most problematic area for the person. The reports that you can create in the compare mode can be also created for a standalone single scan. So you can click report here. You can also click export, and it will export to CSV all the data numbers, and you can click report to create a PDF version of the report, and you can add whatever you like there. Click OK, and it will generate for you the report. The design is the same, header, footer, etc. stays the same. You can edit it, you can delete, erase, whatever you like. You can share it, you can send a PDF version up to you. You can save it, and then do with this report whatever you like. Also, there is an opportunity for you to save the images themselves. For example, if you want to create your own report, your own study, and you want to import these images somewhere. So you can click this button in order to save the picture that you see in front of you, or you can click this picture with 2 images, so you will do the bulk export, so all the images here, from the chakras, from the energy field, from area diagram, so in one click. This button is available on the energy field tab here. Also, there is an opportunity to share the images, these pictures, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, and email. Again, same functionality at the current moment. That's everything that we have for now. Either you just save it as a picture and then send it in any messenger you like. So more or less that's it, and I thank you very much for your time. I hope that you were able to do the same interpretation as I was doing of my 4 scans. You have done the same interpretation of your 4 scans in general and in compare mode. And in the next videos, we will add a little bit on top of this interpretation, and I will tell you what else can you do to dig deeper into the functional state, energetic state of the person.